Welcome everyone to our day 6. We're through the halfway point. I'm going to share my screen. Minute.
Okay with this?
Oh, I wonder if there's a way. There is a way. Okay, great. So Jill, remember when I said I couldn't find that, like it was too big, all the faces were there? I found a way to minimize it. Okay. Can everyone see the screen?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that you're equipping.
Okay. So tonight we're going to really dive deep into habits. Here it says habit stacking, data, and embracing discomfort. We actually covered the data and embracing discomfort. The data is like looking at scale and making sure that you're not taking it personally and you're just like using it as a guide of, do more of this, don't, do less of this kind of thing. And embracing discomfort is exactly what you've done for the last, 6 days. And now you're kind of having breakthroughs in regard to it's not so hard, it's doable. And I really invite you to try to have less drama around it. You are certainly welcome to bitch and moan to us by all means, but for your own sake, just try to live as if it's not like less drama around doing it. Like, this is easy. I can do this. I've done it for the last few days. I can continue doing this, and make it easy on yourself, because as we transition to life, we want this to be the easy part. Sorry. And the rest, the things that we put in, to be more thoughtful. Okay, let's go. Let's go. What habits did you have that you have changed in the last 6 days? And what habits do you want to create? I want you to think about that. We'll answer that later, but think about the habits that you have, that you have had that you've changed in the last 6 days. Personally, I am, I would come home from work and I would be tired and emotional, and not emotional, but like spent, and wanted to just have comfort food. So I would have a bite of this or a bite of that. And I have not done that in the last 6 days. I actually come up here and I talk to you guys, which is fabulous, actually. And what habits do you want to create? So the habits that you are creating, and what habits do you want to create that you have an idea about, but you haven't done yet? Think about that, and let's talk about that. Your frontal brain is the planning part of your brain. So that prefrontal cortex, as opposed to the back, right? As opposed to the primal section. No other animal plans in advance. No one has business meetings. No one discusses where they're going to travel to. They respond to immediate stimuli, which is the work of your primitive brain. That is the reactive brain. Planning happens best when you have the energy for it. In the morning, it's typically the best time for most people. Rarely is it at night after a long day of work, cooking, cleaning, and managing your life. Do your most important things in the morning before you can talk yourself out of them, and when you have the most energy. And really when you're on autopilot. So when you wake up in the morning, if you typically will change our clothes or take a shower and brush our teeth, and that's kind of, you don't have to think about it. It's just something you do. You can even do that in kind of like a sleepy state. And that's actually what I invite you to do for anything else you want to put in your path to accomplish. So if it's something you want to do, or work you want to have done, or workouts that you want to do, or meditation or yoga, or even planning your day, do that when you have your planning brain, having all the energy you need for the day. The more tasks you can put on autopilot, the more likely it will get done. Remember, our brain does not like to waste energy. So if you have to think about things too much each day, you're less likely to do it. The more you can think less about it and it's just on automatic, the more that you will more likely do it. Just like bad habits that often happen in the same place or the same time, you can create good habits by doing things in the same place and the same time, whether you're journaling, exercising, whatever you're doing. Habit stacking. To build a new habit, identify a current habit and stack the new habit on top. Set yourself up for success by putting as much prep work in as possible. For instance, if you set your workout clothes and gym clothes in the same spot that you're more likely to see them, as soon as you get out of bed, you'll get out of bed. If you have to step over your work clothes to put them on, you're more likely to put it on. If you have your gym clothes on, you're more likely to work out. If you already know what workout you're going to do, you're more likely to start the workout. And if you have all your equipment in the same accessible spot, then you're more likely to do the workouts or more likely to use the equipment. Consistency is king. Results are not always obtained in the same time frame you would like. That is why it takes consistency to build habits that produce results, which is why we're extending this cleanse, is because 10 days is certainly not enough to create a habit. And we're going to invite you to continue to work together to extend this cleanse. If you want to do that, you're welcome to do that with us. If you're done with the 10 days, perfectly fine. We completely acknowledge that, and we will all celebrate the 10 days at the end of the 10 days. And Tim's saying, yep, he's done. So bamboo is one of the examples. Bamboo can barely be seen for the first 5 years as it builds extensive root systems underground while exploding 90 feet into the air within 6 weeks. So it takes a long time to kind of establish a foundation before you're going to see results. That happens with weightlifting, that happens with building muscle, that happens with weight loss. Habits often appear to make no difference until you cross a critical threshold and unlock a new level of performance. And this is from James Clear. Think of all the work that you put into being consistent, stored energy. Once you have reached the critical threshold, that's when results occur. So all that stored energy, and then suddenly you'll see results. There are 3 levels of change. Let's see. There is outcomes. Changing your outcomes is a change in results. Losing weight, gaining energy, or quitting sugar. This is about the outcome, what you get. The process is changing your processes, is changing habits, implementing a new routine, starting a practice of meditation or exercise, or changing where you sit at night, from where you ate chips to far away from the kitchen. This is about what you do, your actions. Let me move this. Oh, that's what I want. Can everyone hear Tim's clinking of his fork on the plate? Because it's driving me nuts.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. I want to say changing your identity relates to changing your beliefs about your ability, your beliefs about what's possible, your self-image, and your worldview. Identity is about what you believe, your thoughts that drive your feelings. Okay, to change our habits, we often start with what we want to achieve, the outcome. But it's a better way is to ask ourselves, who do we need to be in order to have the change and for it to be sustainable? Like, who do you need to be to think about yourself in order to be someone who weighs the weight you want to weigh, or exercises to build the muscle that you want to build, things like that. It's very different to say, I'm the type of person that wants this versus I'm the type of person who is this. Okay. So here's an example. A smoker who says, no thanks, I'm trying to quit, still identifies as a smoker, but saying, no, thank you, I'm not a smoker anymore, or I'm just not a smoker, is a shift in identity. Or in relation to food, you can go to a party and say, oh, it looks so good. I bet it tastes amazing. I really shouldn't eat that. Keeps yourself in this mindset of, I still want the food, and I am a person who would still eat that, to a person who said, thanks, but I've had enough. Whether you have it or not, you kind of just like cut it off and you're standing more powerfully. Okay. The more pride you have in a particular aspect of your identity, the more motivated you will be to maintain the habits needed to sustain it. The more you repeat a behavior, the more you reinforce the identity associated with that behavior. You can say, I'm funny because I often make people laugh, or I'm religious or spiritual because I go to church every Sunday. I'm a reader because I read a lot of books. One-off experiences usually fade in time, while the effect of the habits get reinforced with time. Habits shape your identity. Each time you participate in a habit, you are considering, maybe this is who I am. Going to the gym once won't convince yourself that you are an athlete, but going to the gym daily for years, and you will now find yourself shopping at athletic stores for the best shoes, equipment, or outfit. You have become an athlete. The way to change who you are is to change what you do. One, you decide the type of person you want to be, and two, you prove it to yourself with small wins, the small changes you do every day. So yesterday, I think it was, we talked about the trigger, the craving, the response, and the reward. Remember, the trigger is feeling good or feeling bad. The craving is wanting to feel better. Remember, your dopamine makes you want what you don't have. And the response would be, like our example before, was eating ice cream. The reward is dopamine is activated by the sugar. Your reward center is the good feelings from a dopamine release. And now you associate the good feelings or the bad feelings with eating ice cream because that makes you feel better. If you want to eat more, so at the top is like a little graph. So creating a good habit, you want to make the trigger obvious. You want to make it attractive, easy, and satisfying. Breaking a bad habit, you want to make it invisible, make it unattractive, make it difficult, or make it unsatisfying. Wanting to eat more vegetables and protein, one, you want to have it available. That's why we had you do all the prep, so that was readily available. Two, create delicious recipes that you love. We gave you lots of recipe cards so that you could have some recipes that you can fall back on. Three, have those delicious meals in the freezer ready to defrost and eat. We talked about meal prepping and having things available for you. And four, make a big deal out of enjoying every bite. We did celebrate all the dishes we made, and that's how we helped you. And we want you to help yourselves moving forward to getting more vegetables and protein in. Wanting to, let's move that. Wanting to avoid sugar, flour, and processed foods. One, don't keep it in the house or keep it in somewhere inaccessible, in the basement or a place you rarely see. Two, if you're buying for your family, buy the ones you don't really like. When I buy Halloween candy, I always buy suckers because I really do not like them. I have no desire for them. But if they were Reese's peanut butter cups, that would be a problem. Decide if you're going to have bread or desserts that you will make it from scratch, or make it difficult for yourself to indulge on the things that you're more likely to overindulge in. And think about all the reasons you're better off without sugar and flour. Like, really pay attention to, why am I doing this? Do I really want to do this? And am I being really present to how it's affecting my body or how it can affect my body? Last thing is make a scorecard and reward yourself with something healthy after completing 100 checks. We gave you a little check off for like water. You can do that. I think someone, I don't remember, maybe someone made a checklist of all the things she had to accomplish during the 10 days. That's a great scorecard to reward yourself with every time you do a check, and you can do something healthy for yourself. after you've completed everything. Plan ahead. If X happens, I will do Y. If I'm at a restaurant and I don't know what to order, my backup is plain chicken, a salad, and then I will enjoy my next meal more, knowing that I can have a little more leeway in what I want to eat, right? Things like that. So all this, this entire presentation was thoughts and things that James Clear talks about in his book, Atomic Habits. I highly recommend you listen to it or read it. It's fabulous. And John Acuff has a book called Soundtracks, and it's the thoughts you say in your head that gets in your way of getting to your goals. So those are great because John Acuff not only talks about that, but he talks about the soundtracks to put in your head so that you are empowering yourself and getting to your goals faster and more surely. So that is that. So I'm going to stop sharing that. Hi, everyone. And don't worry about Tim. He heard this presentation before. He was just being polite by visiting with me. Okay, so let's start with what habits that you had and that you have transformed in the last 6 days. Like what habits were you doing that you're not doing right now? Let's start with that.
Snacking.
Fabulous. That's a huge one. Yeah. And it makes a huge difference too. Anything else?
Yeah. Splurging on the weekends. I'm good during the week. And then I say like Saturday, especially either Friday night and Saturday, I was like, but I've earned it. But then it's like, but you're undoing what you did in the week. So I haven't been doing that.
That's fabulous. Yeah. And we made it through a weekend together.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyone else have any habits that Debbie says eating only when hungry, then stopping before being uncomfortable. I love that one. That's awesome.
I stopped waking up in the middle of the night and eating.
Oh, that's really good. Awesome.
And I mentioned it, I think, in our group chat, but the coffee's huge. Like I have, well, caffeine, not always coffee. I like it all. And I've had that one episode. It was very difficult. And now I'm totally fine. I really have no desire to ever detox from caffeine again. So I probably, right now, I do not want to ever get back on like that level of caffeine.
Right.
And I also, I've been shopping a couple times and I didn't buy any junk food or snacks like in the aisles or anything. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Marie said, what did you say, Marie? I just missed it. Oh, no cheese appetizers and chocolate at 5 p.m. Yep. We love our charcuterie boards. Anyone else want to add to that? Okay, let's move on then to what habits do you want to create? What habits do you want to continue? Let's start with that one first. What do you want to continue that you established during the 6 days that you want to take forward? Like Jill says, caffeine. Not everyone's going to choose to stay away from coffee. So, but what habits do you want to continue?
Not snacking.
Not snacking. Good.
Intermittent
I
fasting.
want to continue
said-
eating this way. I'm really trying to convince myself, if you feel this good eating this way, then you just make it, that's what you do. I want it to become a habit, or like I'm on automatic pilot. So I know it's just what I do.
I love that. Absolutely.
John was just saying he likes intermittent fasting. It's something we both like try, but we're such big coffee drinkers that we just could never, wait till noon to eat or something like that. So I think we'll move into exploring that more.
I hope to just continue doing this as I am, like probably really limited cheese. I've already cut back on gluten dramatically, but probably take it to the next level and continue either to have very little or none. And maybe the 4 meals a day, if I can keep it up. It's getting easier. I'd like to stay off sugar because I'm like Jill. I love kid candy. That's like, I mean, Mike and I are best friends, and chocolate, I think, should be one of the 4 food groups. So, but I do feel better. I mean, I waver, I have peaks and valleys, but overall I feel better.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Very good. So my next question is, what habit do you want to have in your future that isn't part of this program, but you do want to make it a habit, that you've been wanting to make it a habit and you would like to make it a habit, if not now, sometime in the future?
More interested in cooking dinner.
We were thinking that our next event will be a virtual cooking class again. We did that a year ago. We'll do it again.
It's really
That
fun.
sounds like fun.
Mhm.
That was
I-
fun.
I think what Marcy said just now is actually a key point. I don't know if habit's the right word, but for me, it'll be exploring different recipes and menus, because there's a lot of amazing things out there, and I just have to tap into the resources and utilize them, because, just eating baked chicken can be kind of bland and a little dreary, but if I do some creative things, I can really change that easily, probably.
Right.
Exercise.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest challenge. Having the time and like the head to say, I'm going to exercise now. And this is my time. I'm too tired. I'm this, I'm that, which I am. I'm busy. I'm tired. When you have a
Right.
million things going on, it's hard to like get into that mode. It's like, well, I did it in high school and I walked a half an hour, and I did, back in the day when you still use exercise videos, I did that for half an hour. But I don't have that time, but like I loved it, so I want exercise to become a habit.
Ray said, getting back into yoga. Debbie Benuni said, knowing that I have self-control and can make the change. What else do we have here?
Yeah. Do hot yoga, and then I was telling you today about like maybe doing the spinning stuff too.
Right.
But hot yoga has been really nagging at me, just because I feel it helps me be more flexible, and I've always really loved it. So
Yep, that's awesome. Okay, good. Well, so I'm going to tell you what the agenda is going to be for the next few days, because now that we're on day 6, we're like winding it up. So we only have a few more days together. So tomorrow we're having a special guest who's going to take over our call for the most part. I'll introduce him and then he'll kind of go from there. His name is Scotty Johnson. He's a personal trainer that I know, and he's awesome. And he says we're comfortable close and have some space to move around. On Wednesday, we're going to talk about what's next. So Jill's going to talk about our invitation to you, and then we're going to talk about what's next on Wednesday. But what's next on Wednesday is about what's next for all of us, whether or not you continue or if the 10 days is it for you. We're going to talk about reintegrating foods, all the things. So that will be Wednesday. And we are on Thursday, you're going to create your plan. So I'm going to give you homework on Wednesday. Based on what we talk about Wednesday, I want to see the homework that you do to create your plan moving forward, because I am going to be your accountability partner. Jill and I are your accountability partners in order for you to stick to your plan. So whatever plan you create, that's what I want you to stick to, because you made a plan, you stuck to it. Like I made the plan for you for the last 10 days, but you stuck to it. You saw the results. Now you know it's possible. And now you're going to create what you want your future to look like, right? So that is our next 3 days. And then Friday, we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna talk all about, we're gonna celebrate and have fun with all of our results. And so Jill, why don't you tell them what our offer is? You have to be
You're on
unmuted.
mute.
Oh, and I just want to say something before you do, Jill.
Yeah, sorry.
So Jill and I talked earlier about if you move forward, then we'll have one Zoom call a week. I'm actually gonna make that a Zoom call like every other day because I think it will be more helpful for everyone to stay accountable that way. So Jill, go for it.
Okay. So I had sent out an email and I put it out in that group chat that if you want to do 10 more days, I need to know basically now, today, because I'm going to order tomorrow morning. Couple of you have already called me and I know, or replied to that thing, and I have that written down. But I'm going to pre-order, or I'm going to reorder the shake, the Genema Metaglycemics, and the Advoclear. You should have enough Ultraflora IB because there was 60 tablets in that.
Not IB, balance.
I'm sorry, Ultraflora Balance. So I'm only going to order the 4 things, not the extra, but if you need IB, let me know.
Balance.
Balance, sorry. And the cost for those things, it's $194, but we're going to give you a 10% discount. So it'd be $175. So just let me know, because it takes about a week for us to get the stuff, and I want to be able to make sure you have it. So you probably have enough stuff to get through definitely Friday, but maybe Saturday if you've been using less shake mix. But it's pretty much, those tubs are 10-day
I
portions.
think there were 30 servings.
Will you grab the thing? The tub is.
Yeah, I thought
it's
there
a
were 30,
10-day
and so that would be 15 days.
Okay, they told me it was a 10-day.
Okay, well, we're gonna find out, aren't we?
Yeah.
So even if you decide not, we appreciate the people who are declining as much as we appreciate the people who are accepting, because if we account for everyone, we'll know for sure what everyone's answer is. So thank you for that.
Yeah. And if I don't hear, I'm just assuming you're not doing it. It's no big deal. No hard feelings or anything. So, I don't know. But so just let me know so I can place the order tomorrow. I'll do that probably tomorrow at 9. Well, we're in at 9. So.
Yeah, so the snowstorm, hopefully that won't delay our shipment.
I know.
But aren't you glad that we're here on Zoom? Everyone can be comfy, cozy in their home, and we'll still be doing this. So make sure you have enough of your good food, for the snowstorm. I went to Trader Joe's today and it was completely empty.
Oh, I know. People are
Crazy.
getting their stuff. Armageddon.
I know.
I just went before. That's why I was a little bit late on the call. I went in Royal Oak and they were kind of empty, but they were also restocking at the same time. So it wasn't too bad.
Good. Good. Okay, guys, what's left? What else do you want to talk about? What other concerns you have? Is everyone pooping? I want to make sure everyone's pooping. If you're not pooping, you must talk to me. I've been handing out blasting powder left and right. John's like, yep. Robin, we're talking.
Okay.
So contact me,
Okay.
please. You can.
I have a question.
Yeah.
My question is, how often should you do something like this? Like just
We're
once?
going to do it at least
a
once a
year?
year.
Okay.
Twice a year is optimal. Like, you got to remember all those chemicals we're exposed to, plastics, metals, we're exposed to so many of them that it is best to do it twice a year for more like 21 days as opposed to the 10 days. But if you do it once a year, that's more than most people do. And it does, so BPA specifically, it makes a huge difference. That's the bread. Wait till you hear about this. Okay, well, we'll get back to that. Jill's showing off her bread. Yes, it's beautiful. So remember, so with BPAs, it actually can leave your body. And when it's not there, it doesn't mess with your hormones. That's cruel, Jill. What I want you to know though, like I just read a patient's hormonal overview today, and you could tell that she was really exposed to a lot of PCBs and BPAs and things like that because of what we saw on her lab test. And she's only 24 years old. So I'm worried about these young ladies who are going to try to become pregnant soon, and that they have all these endocrine disruptors, these things that mess up hormones. So clean out your bodies, but also talk to your daughters and your sons about cleaning out their bodies too. So, okay, so to change, do you have another question?
I do have one more question.
Go ahead.
So of course I try to recruit some of my friends to do this with me, you know, but of course they all declined. And now since I'm telling them I'm feeling so fantastic, they all want to hop on the ship. So when are you going to do this again?
So that's a great question. For 100% sure, we're going to do it this time next year.
Okay.
If we decide to do it, we might do it halfway through the year. It's a big endeavor, and
Sure,
it should be
sure.
easier next time, because now that I have all the PowerPoints, like putting together all the information, like I have so much information that I want you to have, like I want you to know all these things. So it was super fun for me to put it together, and we're trying to like make it even better next time, where, you know, we're going to give you a poll and you're going to tell us too many Zoom calls, not enough Zoom, like what kind of support do you need? What worked for you? We know this worked because we're seeing so many results, like amazing results. So we know this worked at this level, and we might not change a thing. So, but any input you have,
Okay.
we're willing to listen to.
Okay. That's it. That's it with my questions.
Can I ask a question? Like, could I continue just taking the Gemenics and your metagenics, the Genema and the meta?
Glycemics
Yes, because those are the biggies for
for
insulin,
blood sugar and insulin
sugar.
resistance. Yeah.
Because I feel like that's really helping my cravings. And
Yes.
is that an okay thing to take all the time, or is that a limited
Oh,
thing?
it's so good. It's so good, especially if you've ever had high blood sugar or high insulin. It's almost necessary. What these do, the Gemena really cuts your craving, but the metaglycemics actually helps your insulin receptors be more sensitive. So
is one better than the other, like metaglycemics over, or both?
they're different and they help each other. So the Gemena is really to crush sugar cravings.
Mhm.
Once you feel like, and the sweet spot is 10 to 21 days of taking it to feel really good. Now, you can stop at any time and then see if your cravings come back and then go back on it because you know it was effective, or you could just stay on it. It's not harmful to stay on it. You're welcome to. The metaglycemics is more medical in my mind because it actually is something we use for people with high blood sugar to help them rebalance their blood sugar.
Okay.
There's a few other things we might give too, but that's, you know, berberine is another one, but we don't have that in the metaglycemics because some people have GI issues because it's also an antimicrobial. And so we have to be careful with that one. But
Right, cool.
berberine is very similar to metformin in the way it works. So good questions. Anyone else? Yeah, Bridget.
So were we going to talk about restaurants and where we could go out to eat?
Totally are on Thursday.
Sick of being in the kitchen.
Actually, it's Wednesday. It's either Wednesday or Thursday. We're going to talk about that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, 100%. Jill and I are looking forward to Mabel Gray. So we're looking to go to fancy restaurants and try lots of things. Vicky.
So when we go through the, when we finish the detox and we're off all these pills and supplements that we've been taking, are we going to notice a big change because we're not taking them anymore?
You're going to let me know.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very individual. And I want you, you're going to be looking for energy. You're going to look at for GI. You're going to look at you're going to look at all the things. You're going to pay really close attention as you transition back to your normal life. And I'm going to suggest some nutrients to support you moving forward that, if you have blood sugar problems, like we said, the Gemena and the metaglycemics are good things to continue. But if you don't have those problems, a good multivitamin, vitamin D, some antioxidants like vitamin C, those are good too.
That was mine. That was my video. went out.
Somebody's feedback.
That was mine.
You unmuted?
I turned it off on that one.
Nope, you're on.
You could
Amelia.
hear it.
Amelia,
That
you're
happens
still
on
on.
mine too.
I know, because I turned
can
this
mute
one
him.
on.
Oh, you had, oh, I got you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I think I saw it, but I'm not sure. I haven't gone back through the literature. When you've talked about like itching, sinus issues and some of the other symptoms, you linked some of them, like we talked about that cheese could give you like a sinus drainage or increase this, or the gluten might give you the foggy brain. Is some of that stuff printed out in our literature, like some of the corresponding things? Because I'm kind of want to know what I might be looking for. Like, I didn't think I had that much of a foggy brain, but these last few days, I do feel, I don't know, I guess just, yes, less foggy. I mean, I don't know that I feel super sharp and clear, but I feel less foggy.
Right.
And so I'm thinking, is that a gluten issue versus the cheese? Like, I don't know how to correlate what's to what.
You know what? You can't really, because different people will have different symptoms for different things. What we do is we go back on, we're going to not go back on everything all at once. We're going to go back on
Right.
one thing at a time, and you're going to pay attention to as you do that. But you get to choose what you're going to do first. I will make suggestions, but
So like,
okay,
I
you'll
would,
take good notes.
I would like to like go back to using feta and
Mhm,
cheese versus gluten. Like if I had to pick, so for me, that will be where I would start,
mhm,
and I would skip gluten for a while because
right. You
I
want to
think
do
that-
it long enough to find out if you're going to have symptoms with it.
so if I ate feta cheese one time, I may or may not know.
Right. You want to do it for a period of time.
I don't even eat dairy like that really, but okay.
Any other questions?
I just wanted to know, I've heard before from a friend, I don't remember, that the foods that you crave are the foods that are worst for you.
Sometimes.
Is there anything
Yeah.
true to that
So,
or not necessarily?
Oftentimes we do see a desire for the things we're sensitive to, but not all of them, because sugar, flour, and alcohol all stimulate enough dopamine receptors in a big enough way that you're going to crave them anyways, whether you're sensitive to them or not,
Okay.
right? If you're talking about sensitivity like an immune reaction.
Okay.
What else, guys?
Just a quick question. What do you think of air fryers?
So right now, I think they're okay.
Not now, but after the program.
But I think the jury's still out in their safety, but I have not seen any ill effects or studies of ill effects from air frying. We could talk about if you're going to bread something and spray it with an oil and heat it to a really high intensity, are you still creating acrylamides? That's a possibility. Because remember, acrylamides are made when you take a carbohydrate and a fat and you heat it to a really high intensity. So that's possible. But things like air frying your potato, like, I don't know. So the jury's still out. I haven't seen any ill effects from it, but if that's how we create it, then maybe.
Most things in the air fryer, you cook at like 390 degrees. So would you consider that a high heat?
Not necessarily. Let me do some research on that one.
Yeah, I got a foodie for my kids for Christmas, and I've been using that. Like I'll throw squash in there and just spray a little olive oil or avocado oil on it, and then hit it with Jill's sauce or with her salt, and they're fabulous. I mean, it's so good. And if you cook them too long, they almost taste like potato chips. So it's kind of cool in that respect.
Oh, very good. So last night we cooked steak in our air fryer and it was really good. We have a recipe we really like with that. So I did not think it was harmful. I still don't think it's harmful. I will find out more detail and do my research and get back to you. Other questions? Okay. Well, we will continue tomorrow with personal trainer Scotty Johnson. He's super dynamic, so I think you're going to have a great time. And you can still ask all the questions. I really appreciate you commenting on the Facebook group. It's really wonderful to see. It's wonderful for the people who can't get on the Zoom calls to know how other people are doing, because this is an amazing community. You have made it such an amazing community and you've supported each other. And Jill and I are just in awe of you and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're really happy. It's really cool.
Well, I do have one thing to ask, Jill. What the heck? Where's that recipe for that bread?
Oh,
Come on.
right.
Yeah, bring a sample to the office tomorrow.
I can. You're coming in.
And
I got 2 loaves out of that. So it's fake bread though, Beth. So it's like basically just egg whites and some nutritional yeast and some protein powder, and also it's kind of like weird stuff. So
yeah, it's egg white powder, liquid egg whites, cream of tartar, nutritional yeast, a little bit of allulose, and xanthan gum. Did you put that in?
no,
Okay, we'll see how it goes.
didn't see it, so I didn't buy it. But that protein powder made it totally changed the consistency, so I think that'll toughen it up a little.
Yeah.
So I'll bring some tomorrow.
It's Maria Emmerich's recipe. It's one of her recipes that got tweaked a few times.
So should we do our winners?
We should.
All right. So tonight's raffle goes to Bridget, Carrie, and Marianne.
Thank
I think
you.
only Bridget today.
I get them all.
Very good. Okay, so I will stick around. You guys have a wonderful evening and we'll see you back tomorrow.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
I did want to mention, I weighed myself this morning. I did lose 2.5 pounds.
Good job, Miriam. You broke your
I did.
the wall that you were trying to break through. That's fabulous.
But it's interesting because since I've been doing the detox, I added in that little bit of the carb. I'm having either like some, rice or a sweet potato and like that fruit. And like, I feel almost like I needed that to sort of like break that. It's so weird.
Yeah. We got to just go with it. You're figuring things out.
So,
It's good.
yeah, I mean, it's funny because like 9 years ago, or even a little more at this point, my husband and I had done like, it was almost like an OA, but like not quite. It wasn't like with the meetings, it was done personal. Anyway, so I had lost 70 pounds and he had lost 50 pounds. And,
Wow.
and ever since then, with, I wound up expecting when I lost all that weight. Surprise. It was very exciting. And then but every time after that, even when I went back to that to try it again, I was never getting the same results. Even doing the same thing. And it was like so frustrating. So I was like, okay. And then once I went to the doctor and he's like, well, your liver numbers are high. It means there's toxins. And then, I started doing this, but I'm like, now I'm like trying to think like, should I do the detox longer than just the 10 days? I'm not sure.
Well, how long ago were your liver enzymes up?
I think the number was 111.
That's a lot. How long ago was that?
That was Well, I had seen Dr. Nikoloff like that Monday, just before my husband came to that Sunday. So, and I took my blood work about 2 weeks before that. So I see maybe like a month or so ago.
So what do you want to do, Miriam?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Give it some thought. We'll support you with whatever you want to do.
Okay, well, I have to let you know by the morning, right? Or by tonight, like.
That's, if you want the stuff on time, that's how we're doing
Right.
it.
Okay, I'll talk to my husband and I'll try to see like, what to do.
Sounds good.
So, all right, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, we'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds
Yep.
good. Have a good night, Bridget.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks so much. Have a good night.
Good night, Miriam.
Bye.
Hey, Stacy. So you said that we need to talk. So there is something
Oh,
else because I have
yes.
increased.
I'm going to stop the recording. Give me a second.